Racing coasters, polar bears and boat rides, I'm Rollercoaster David, and this is Coasting into Wildlands.
So today I've been visiting Wildlands in Holland.
Wildlands Adventure Zoo is located about a half-hour drive from Slagharen, or an hour from Wallaby, Holland. After a morning spent at Slagharen riding Gold Rush, I plan to only make a brief stop here to experience their new racing Boomerang coaster, Tweestryd. However, I ended up spending much longer there than I had planned, as this park really exceeded my expectations. Wildlands is a hybrid of a zoo and a theme park that opened less than 4 years ago, so it's very modern but still in its infancy, and I think it's got good potential to become something much bigger. I knew very little about this park prior to my visit, apart from the fact that it had added a Vekoma family Boomerang coaster last year, but it turned out that's not the only ride this park has. Straight away on entering the park, I was struck by how well themed the place was. The landscaping, architecture and variety of designs was on a par with some of the top theme parks I've been to. It really was impressive. The first section of the park I explored was Nautica, a beautiful area containing polar bears, seals and penguins. It's also home to the park's 3D motion simulator ride, Arctic One. This ride was good fun, and felt like an updated version of the wild Arctic rides you get at SeaWorld parks. You board a sightseeing vehicle bound for the Arctic that inevitably gets into some mild peril, and leads to a thrilling escape sequence before returning home safe and sound. It was a decent ride, and the area around it looked fantastic too. Now, compared to other zoos I've been to, the enclosures seemed really quite open and more natural in their design, avoiding artificial barriers and cages, while still giving a great view of the animals. I headed into the next section of the park and continued to be impressed by the level of theming on display, with one of the enclosures having a derailed train that you can walk through to get a closer view of the animals. I eventually made it to the main reason for visiting the park, a Vekoma Dueling family Boomerang coaster called Tweestryd. Now, I'm probably mispronouncing the name. Apparently it's Afrikaans for the word jewel, a fitting name for this coaster. Each track also has a different name too, and they're a little unusual as far as coaster names go. Again, I'm probably about to mispronounce these horribly, but one side is called Duurzame Landbouw, and the other Eerlijk Mijnbouw, which translated into English means sustainable agriculture and honest mining. Not exactly the most intimidating names for coasters out there. This racing family Boomerang coaster is great fun for what it is though. It starts with a backwards lift hill before you're released and race against the other train through the station into a series of crossovers and turns with some mild airtime on a couple of the hills. After that you go up another hill and then fall backwards and do the whole course in reverse. It's quite well balanced as well in terms of the racing, as the winner varied between the two trains quite a lot. The ride experience is very similar to that of Rake at Phantasialand, if you want something to compare it to, and I think it's a nice addition to the very new park. Hopefully we may see the park get some more coasters in the future. Continuing around the park, I entered their large Serenga section, which is an impressive mixture of different animals roaming in it, and a safari ride too. Again, the animals seemed well cared for, and had a large amount of space to roam in when compared to other zoos. After exploring a bit more, I headed back to the Nautica section of the park to see the sea lion show, which was really enjoyable. I didn't really understand the plot, as it was in Dutch, but I think it had something to do with a conservation message, and somehow it involved the sea lions interfering with a drilling company. Or something like that, anyway. Regardless, both the sea lions and trainers seemed to be having a great time, and they performed some really impressive tricks and dancing too. The final area of the park I went to was the indoor Jungola section, which again was very well themed and had plenty of different animals in it. It also had a boat ride, which took you past monkeys, lemurs and elephants, and through a slightly spooky dark cave as well.
So today I've been visiting Wildlands in Holland, and I've been surprised by it. I came originally because I knew there's a family boomerang here, a dueling family boomerang, which was really good fun. But I've been really surprised by just how good this place is. The theming is absolutely fantastic here. They've really gone all out, and the animal control is great as well. I didn't actually expect to spend very long here, but I've ended up spending quite a while. It's bigger than I expected, and while the coaster was fun, the rest of the place is absolutely fantastic.
Overall, I had a great day at Wildlands Adventure Zoo, and left thoroughly impressed by it. The hybrid zoo and theme park is very new and modern and could well continue to grow, and who knows, if it continues to add rides, maybe one day it could be the Busch Gardens of Europe. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, be sure to subscribe for more content from me. For now, I've been Rollercoaster David, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again in another video very soon.